After seeing so many Strong World references in chapter 1131, it got me to thinking, and I've talked about him before in another video, but Shiki really was a monster when you think about it. And he is going to be one of those weird cases for One Piece in which I think we're going to get our first Broly-like character, but he's in a way better situation than Broly. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Broly was a movie character from the Dragon Ball franchise, right? And he was a very, very cool movie character in several movies, but of course, he was uncanon to the greater canon of Dragon Ball. However, this changed in Super when he appeared in a Dragon Ball movie that was canon, and therefore that fitted him back into the canon with a lot of the story beats from his movie intact, which is very interesting, actually. But with that being said, the reason why Shiki is in a better situation is because when Strong World came out, there was a companion manga that came with it called Chapter Zero that really did canonize him and put him in particular places of importance at that time. And then ever since, he's been worked further and further into the narrative, as now we know that he was a former Rocks pirate. Kurozumi Higurashi copied him at one point. There's a lot of weird stuff that's happening with him. And then even before the companion manga came out, he is mentioned by Son Goku when talking about Impel Down. So we know that he was a canon part of the story before. The reason why Strong World is so important is because that's the only material that we know of at this point that really breaks down his abilities and shows off what the flow fruit can actually do. But the reason why he's so powerful now in context is when you consider the feats presented in the companion manga Chapter Zero, because he went to Marineford and fought a Prime Sengoku and a Prime Garp. This is incredibly interesting when you consider what Garp can actually do now in his old age, as we see him on Hachinoso. So with that being said, yeah, Shiki is going to be a menace. Given all the Strong World references in Elbaf, he may appear in Elbaf, who's to say? But it's just interesting to think about him now, because he's going to be, I think, the first character in the franchise who is incredibly more powerful than his first showing, which was in the movie Strong World. Because the Shiki of the canon, by default, has to be leagues upon leagues stronger than the Shiki present in the movie. Even though he may be older now, that still doesn't excuse anything. He might have gone through a similar training regimen to Luffy, because we know too that the animals that appear in Chapter Zero, Fat Lion and Giraffe Gone, I think it's called, are canon. So maybe like Luffy, he was fighting these wild beasts on Merivale, which is also canon, all that time during this 20-year period of which he was concocting his master plan. But we shall see in the future, and I can't wait to see what Shiki actually is in the canon of the manga. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What?